Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to our channel, where we delve into the intricate tapestries of royal life, bringing you the most compelling narratives from behind the palace walls. Today, we embark upon a journey into what appears to be a profoundly significant turning point for two figures long synonymous with both royal glamour and persistent controversy. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, and his former spouse, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. We're going to explore the latest, rather resolute decision emanating from the heart of the monarchy, directly from King Charles III himself. A decision that many are interpreting as the definitive conclusion to their long and often tumultuous association with the inner sanctum of the British royal family. Before we immerse ourselves in the nuanced details of this unfolding story, I kindly ask you to take a moment to show your support. A simple click on that like button truly helps our channel reach more viewers like you. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future explorations into the fascinating world of royalty. Your engagement means the world to us. Now let's turn our attention to the Duke and Duchess of York. For decades, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson have occupied a unique and often bewildering position within the royal firmament. Their marriage in 1986 was a fairy tale, captivating a nation with its youthful exuberance. But their subsequent divorce in 1996, while seemingly conventional, did little to sever their unconventional bond. They famously continued to live together, raising their two daughters, Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice, and maintaining a closeness that often baffled and sometimes delighted the public. Yet, alongside this enduring, albeit peculiar, familial unity, has always been a persistent shadow. A series of contentious issues and public disrepute that have, over time, chipped away at their standing, not just with the British populace, but, crucially, with the royal family itself. In recent years, these shadows have deepened considerably, culminating in a series of revelations that have brought their reputations to an unprecedented low. The public's exasperation, simmering for some time, has recently been rekindled with intense fury, particularly following a startling disclosure involving Sarah Ferguson. We're referring, of course, to the widely reported email correspondence that came to light, linking the Duchess directly to the disgraced, convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. For those perhaps less familiar with this particular aspect of the saga, it's imperative to understand the gravity of this connection. Jeffrey Epstein, as many will recall, was an American financier who was convicted of sex offenses and later died in custody. His name became synonymous with horrific crimes and a network of powerful individuals, and any association with him became a severe liability. Sarah Ferguson had, for a period, publicly asserted that she had severed all ties with Epstein, making her position clear to the world. However, the subsequent revelation of a personal message she had sent to him, in which she addressed him, quite astonishingly, as her supreme friend, sent shockwaves through the public sphere. This particular turn of phrase, supreme friend, coming from someone who had previously declared a disassociation, was perceived by many as a profound betrayal of trust and an astonishing lapse in judgment, reigniting widespread indignation and a sense of public outrage. The perceived hypocrisy was palpable, fueling a potent mix of anger and disappointment among those who had once held a degree of affection or tolerance for the Duchess. In the wake of this damaging email leak, a spokesperson for the Duchess of York issued a statement, attempting to clarify the situation. The spokesperson conveyed that Sarah Ferguson was profoundly remorseful for having contacted Epstein, asserting that this communication had occurred under pressure and threats. While this explanation was offered as a means of mitigation, it arrived at a point where public patience was already threadbare. For many, this belated defense felt like an untimely declaration, coming far too late to genuinely assuage the deep-seated concerns that had taken root. The consequences of this perceived misstep were swift and severe. Several charitable organizations with whom the Duchess had been associated began to disengage, effectively dissolving their partnerships and ceasing their association with her. For someone who has dedicated a significant portion of her public life to philanthropic endeavors, this was undoubtedly a significant professional and personal blow, underscoring the tangible impact of her tarnished public image. But the Duchess is not alone in facing such intense scrutiny. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, has for a considerable period been embroiled in his own formidable controversies. Controversies that have effectively cast him into deep disfavor with both the British public and the royal family itself. His enduring affiliations with Jeffrey Epstein constitute a central pillar of his fall from grace. The allegations surrounding his association with Epstein and the subsequent civil lawsuit filed against him, which ultimately resulted in a substantial out-of-court settlement, led to his complete withdrawal from public duties. This unprecedented move, stripping him of his military titles and royal patronages, marked a stark and public repudiation by the monarchy, a clear indication of the severe reputational damage he had inflicted upon the institution. Adding to this immense burden of public disrepute was another significant scandal that emerged last year, the alleged Chinese spy controversy. While the precise details of this matter remain somewhat opaque to the public, the mere implication of a senior royal having potentially compromised connections with individuals linked to foreign intelligence, particularly from a geopolitical rival, raised profound security concerns and further eroded public trust. This episode only served to deepen the Duke's predicament, cementing his position as a problematic figure whose continued presence posed a significant risk to the image and stability of the monarchy. Taken together, these dual burdens of scandal, the long-standing Epstein connection and the more recent Chinese spy allegations, have created an almost insurmountable barrier between Prince Andrew and any meaningful role within the working royal family. It is amidst this tumultuous backdrop, this period of intense scrutiny and public dissatisfaction, that reports have surfaced regarding a decisive intervention from King Charles III. These reports indicate that His Majesty has conveyed a clear message to both Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, requesting that they refrain from accompanying the royal family at public-facing events. While this directive applies broadly, it carries particular weight concerning one of the most cherished and publicly anticipated occasions in the royal calendar, their annual Christmas celebrations at Sandringham. The Sandringham Christmas gathering is far more than just a private family affair. It is a quintessential royal tradition, a carefully choreographed public spectacle that symbolizes family unity, continuity, and the enduring spirit of the monarchy. Each year, crowds gather, often in the crisp Norfolk air, to catch a glimpse of the royals as they make their traditional walk to St. Mary Magdalene Church. It is a moment of connection between the royal family and the public, captured by countless cameras and broadcast around the globe. To be excluded from this event, therefore, is not merely a social slight. It is a profound and public statement of marginalization, a clear indication that the Duke and Duchess of York are being pushed further from the very heart of the royal institution. This decision, if the reports are accurate, signifies a resolute stance by King Charles, aiming to protect the monarchy's image and consolidate his vision for a slimmed-down, more accountable royal family. Providing insightful commentary on this significant development, royal expert Jenny Bond, in conversation with The Mirror, articulated the undeniable implications of such a move. Ms. Bond, a seasoned observer of royal affairs, expressed her conviction that it is now inconceivable that Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson could make a public appearance at Sandringham. Her assessment is rooted in a deep understanding of public sentiment and the current climate surrounding the Yorks. The sheer weight of public disapproval, the lingering indignation over the recent revelations, would make any public display of their inclusion an almost untenable public relations disaster for the monarchy. The optics, as they say, would be disastrous, undermining King Charles's efforts to project an image of a modern, ethical, and responsible institution. Ms. Bond went on to highlight a critical dilemma for the king. She posited that even if Andrew and Sarah were to join the family party privately, away from the prying eyes of the public and the ever-present cameras, it could still open King Charles to grave accusations of hypocrisy. This is a crucial point. As monarch, Charles is striving to usher in a new era for the royal family, one presumably characterized by greater transparency, accountability, and a clear distinction between those who serve the crown and those who have brought it into disrepute. To privately embrace individuals whose public conduct has caused such immense damage, while simultaneously distancing them publicly, would create a perception of inconsistency, a potential for allegations of duplicity that could significantly tarnish his nascent reign. The king's reputation for integrity, particularly in light of his stated desire for a more streamlined monarchy, would be at stake. Jenny Bond also underscored King Charles's character, describing him as a family man who deeply values familial bonds and wishes to keep his relationships close. This aspect of his personality undoubtedly complicates his decisions regarding his brother and former sister-in-law. There is an inherent tension between his personal loyalty and his overarching institutional responsibility as head of the monarchy. However, Ms. Bond firmly asserts that the latest revelations concerning Sarah Ferguson's contact with Jeffrey Epstein, particularly the Supreme Friend communication, render her re-entry into the intimate familial fold impossible. This isn't merely about public events. It's about the very fabric of trust and acceptability within the close-knit family sphere. The stain of these controversies is simply too profound to allow for a return to the inner sanctum of royal life, even on a personal level, without risking further damage to the crown. To further illustrate the evolving nature of this distancing, Jenny Bond recalled the example of the previous year. During those holidays, Sarah and Andrew had already celebrated away from the main royal family gathering at Sandringham. This decision, she noted, was made at a time when the alleged Chinese spy controversy involving Prince Andrew had just been made public. This precedent clearly demonstrates that the current reported decision by King Charles is not an isolated, sudden decree, but rather the culmination of an ongoing pattern, a gradual but increasingly definitive separation. It was a precursor to this current, more resolute stance, signaling a slow but steady erosion of their place at the heart of royal life. Ultimately, Jenny Bond's analysis culminates in a powerful and seemingly definitive conclusion. She claimed that it appears the royal family's ties with the Duke and Duchess of York, particularly at significant royal gatherings, are indeed reaching a permanent end. Her final impactful statement leaves little room for ambiguity. Now is perhaps the time for a permanent end to their Christmas celebrations with the royal family at Sandringham, she shared. This pronouncement suggests a definitive cessation, a conclusive termination of a long-standing tradition, signaling an enduring conclusion to their active participation in the most visible and symbolic events of the monarchy. It marks a clear line in the sand drawn by the new king as he seeks to shape the future of the royal family, protecting its image and ensuring its stability in an ever-evolving world. In summary, dear viewers, the unfolding narrative surrounding Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson appears to be reaching a critical juncture. From the Duchess's profoundly regrettable email contact with Jeffrey Epstein, to the Duke's long-standing controversies, including his past associations with Epstein and the more recent Chinese spy allegations, their public standing has been severely compromised. King Charles III's reported decision to exclude them from public-facing royal events, most notably the cherished Christmas celebrations at Sandringham, represents a resolute move to safeguard the monarchy's reputation. As royal commentator Jenny Bond eloquently articulated, the current climate makes their public inclusion inconceivable, and even a private presence risks accusations of hypocrisy against the king. This appears to be a definitive and permanent recalibration of their relationship with the royal family, reflecting a broader effort by King Charles to usher in an era of greater accountability and a more streamlined monarchy. This event certainly gives us much to reflect upon regarding the delicate balance between familial bonds and institutional imperatives within the British monarchy. What are your thoughts on this significant development? Do you believe King Charles's reported decision is the right course of action for the royal family? Or do you see it as a harsh measure against his own family members? Please share your perspectives and insights in the comment section below. We always value your thoughtful contributions to our discussions. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth royal analyses, and join us for our next update on the fascinating world of the British royal family. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.